Yeah.
Do you remember that movie? So as you guys, yeah, right. So as you guys know, I am in the solar business, but I am entering some other, well, a little bit. And I'm now a representative of Carnival Cruise Line. No, I'm just Now, what I'm going to talk about today is alternative energy. I'm sure many of you are familiar with what that is. Certainly, I'm still doing the solar. Solar leases are still very viable, but purchases are less appealing. But it might still be worthwhile to do an analysis to see if it makes sense. What I'm doing as well is something called alternative energy providers. It is a third-party energy provider that can impact your supply costs on your utility. Some people have done it before, and the drawback to it has always been, I forget about it, I don't monitor it every month, every quarter, whatever, and before I know it, I'm spending a lot more than I was before I changed. And that's really the game that they play to try, and that's how they make their money. They charge you less, take a little bit of a loss, and then ultimately hope that you forget. Can't tell you how many times I've sat down with families and said, you know, you're paying double what your utility cost would be if you were still with your utility. So if you do nothing else, you should change back to the utility. This option is called Think Plus, Think Energy, and something called AutoSave. So basically, you submit a bill, they analyze not only how much energy you use, but when you use it, and then they see if they can save you money. Sometimes they can, sometimes they can't.
Is when you use it on the bill?
They have access to that data into the utility. It's not on the bill, but you give permission for them to analyze your
Smart
history.
meters? Is it from a smart meter you would?
Yeah.
Well, it's from the utility meter, so that I guess the utility knows when you use, what you use, and things like that.
It
So
has to be smart.
Charge different amounts for daytime usage.
all of that goes into the equation, but they're determining, can I save this customer money? And if I can, I'll tell you how much. Typically, it's at least 5%, but there is no guarantee other than we guarantee you'll never pay more. Okay, that's just their standard offering. If you connect a smart meter to it, they'll guarantee you at least a 5% savings. They also offer community solar. If you are eligible for that in the area where it's offered, it could be a 20% savings. They are launching a battery option where they will install a battery at no cost to you. And what's in it for you is that you have backup energy if there is a grid outage. What's in it for the company is that they can buy energy when it's lower cost, store it in your battery, and then sell it, discharge some of it when rates are high. What they also do with the smart meter is you give from them permission to look at what your current temperature is. They can sense when energy costs are going to spike, and they can turn off your meter or turn it off for, say, an hour. This is the concept. And then let that energy cost spike go, pass by, and then resume the normal temperature. Energy varies on pricing throughout the day.
No.
Yeah, that's my understanding of it. Yeah. Yeah.
With lots of JCP&O, I can get night rates, day rates.
I get the night and rate day, but I never got the spike.
It doesn't mean that you're impacted by it. It just means energy companies that are buying energy at different times,
okay.
they're paying more or less depending on when it is.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense. An example, what I'm passing out now, this is an example of what happens if every month Think looks at your costs and says, can we save you money this month? If we can, we'll continue to provide the energy for you. If we can't, we'll return you right back to your utility. So that is what is promised, and a lot of people may be suspicious of that. But this is an example of what is emailed to you, say the first of every month. Hey, you know what? We analyzed what your rate is. We don't feel we can beat that, so we're going to put you right back with PSE&G or JCP&O. Next month, they're going to reevaluate and say, hey, you know what? We think we will save you money, and this is what the rate is the next month. So it happens, they call it AutoSave because it happens automatically. It eliminates that stress of saying, how long was my agreement? How much was it? Is it 3 months, 12 months? Typically, if you lock in for a 12 or 24 month rate with an alternative energy provider, it's more expensive to begin with. So over time, so they're saying that they're going to charge you more in the beginning, ultimately knowing that those rates with the utility are going to exceed what the alternative energy provider is. So usually you start that quest looking at, hey, I want to save some money, and in order to lock in long term, I have to pay more? Like, why would I want to do that? Go ahead.
Is this good for businesses as well as houses?
It is.
Okay.
Yep, yep.
I guess I'm ineligible.
No, you have to have at least 1,500 kilowatt hours annually of usage that's not provided by solar. Ideally, you shouldn't qualify for that, but, you know.
Right now we do.
Right, but now that your net meter is going to be on, you're probably not, assuming that you're going to get 100% offset.
I think my grid's oversized, but.
So, right.
I'll
So-
talk to you about that later.
So you think that you may even exceed what your needs are? Okay,
What I'm reading
Okay.
from my app,
okay.
but I'll talk to you.
So do you write a check to a different provider every month?
No, that bill, it's on your PSE&G bill. So typically you see generation, and if it's PSE&G, it's generation delivery. PSE&G, if you have a third-party generation, it would be Think Energy.
So how does, I mean, I see here it says AutoSave is free to use and free to leave anytime.
Mhm.
How does Think Energy make the money from this?
They're buying energy less at a lower cost than they're charging you.
Same way Xfinity makes money buying from Verizon.
But I pay Xfinity.
Correct, but Xfinity's buying in bulk and they're handling everything, giving a little in the back.
If I pay my power, JCP&L, I guess,
third
work
party
with
must pay them.
JCP&L and get paid through them.
Well, you pay JCP&L, JCP&L pays Think, or any third party. And again, they're in the energy business. That's really what they are, and the technology is what they have that can offer this on a monthly basis.
So this doesn't, typically, when you sign up, it doesn't cost you anything.
It doesn't cost you a
All
nickel.
it is more or less a way to save you money without really doing much of anything other than,
Right. The guarantee is you'll never pay more. It's very likely you'll pay less, and that is just the standard offer. If you want to connect a smart meter or a smart thermostat, they guarantee a 5% savings at least. If you do community solar, it's like 20%.
is there anywhere that this is not available?
Yeah, it's not in every state in the country. They're in
Like
like,
in New Jersey?
yes, it is. New Jersey, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's a newer market. Delaware is a newer
So
market.
this is an option for somebody who may have been considering solar but doesn't really want to make that jump yet. They could,
It's an option for anybody, a renter, an owner,
Yeah.
anyone who has an electric bill. Another thing, if somebody goes solar and can't get full offset, hey, you know what? You can lower your cost for the other 20% we can't provide. So it's a very nice complimentary offer for me. What's in it for me is I don't make any money off you signing up. It's really about network marketing. So my goal is to find people who want to share it just like I'm doing now. That doesn't necessarily apply to anybody here, but someone who might say, well, this is really great. It's a no-brainer. I know 20 people who could probably benefit from that. Go talk to them. I enroll you as a customer. Anyone you enroll as a customer becomes my customer too. And then you find 20 people and 10 of them know 20 other people. Now all of a sudden it's, now I have 200 customers.
For a rental unit, would it make more sense to group it all together as one household or do multiple separate accounts for each one?
It's really whatever the meter is. If you have multiple meters at an apartment,
Yeah.
then it would be every meter would have their own service.
Per meter. Yeah, okay, all right. I
And
wasn't
mo-
sure if you could get in before the meters start to bring the whole thing out. Because I mean, they're all doing the same thing. So instead of reading, let's say 6 meters, now it's just one.
You could certainly do it that way, but who's going to own that one meter?
Yeah, like that would have to be more paying through the rent as opposed to paying.
Well, the owner of the building
Or it
would,
could put in a CT, current transformer, and he could do it that way.
Okay.
But you're asking for a lot of work to be done.
Yeah.
typically renters, or, the owners don't want to pay your utility bill unless there's a reason for that. Hey, I can't get renters, you know what, I'm going to throw in no electric bill.
Right.
Same thing is true of solar.
It must be metered separately if you're gonna charge each individual tenant.
Right.
You can't have one master meter and then say, oh, everybody pay 20%.
Right.
That's illegal.
Okay. Same with solar. I mean, one solar system is connected to one meter. And that's why solar doesn't necessarily make sense for landlords, because they're like, I don't want to pay my tenant's electric bill unless there's some reason for it. I'm struggling with
What was the
getting
minimum per year?
1,500.
My ballpark won't qualify for that.
But even so, most townships all are going to smart meters. I mean, I know Bordentown Township, we got a notice every year because they couldn't change our meter inside for the water meter. They wanted to put a smart meter
They
on.
made me, they said all businesses must have it, for,
And it's something that your flower store can certainly qualify for as well.
Yeah,
hear
you
me?
use a lot of electric.
huh?
You use a lot of electric.
Oh my God, yeah. In June, July, and August.
Yeah,
It's like
I mean,
$700,
any
$800,
savings-
$900.
5% doesn't seem like a lot. It doesn't necessarily, it's not necessarily limited to that, but, I often say that, I don't get rid of all my $1 bills. I don't throw them in the fireplace just because they're only worth $1.
I'm very interested in the battery, because we have a generator. Is that even possible, to have a battery with a generator?
It's an EcoFlow battery. I don't know the specs on it. Not every battery can incorporate a generator. I'm uncertain at this point if EcoFlow can accommodate a generator.
They're a decent company,
Yeah,
EcoFlow.
yeah. And again, nothing's for free. What's in it for the energy companies? Hey, I get to store energy.
That's.
You're like, okay, great.
I
It
get that.
doesn't cost me a nickel. I get emergency backup if
And
the
the
grid
other-
goes down.
The other question I have is dirty electric from a battery. Does the battery clean the electric, or is the battery dirty?
Oh, you mean like a line conditioner, like
Yeah.
a UPS? Again, I don't know the technical specs, but I would imagine that it behooves the company to know that it's going to be
I've been looking
clean.
into that a little bit. Batteries are like almost 100% clean in almost all of the systems. I've been looking into it. I'm just dropping my idea because I wanted to use a battery backup with my solar. This way, if the power goes down, I have that. Then my solar system would energize off of the batteries.
Yes.
It don't work that way. The only way a solar system with a microinverters will work is with generation from the power company. Found out.
Say that again.
The microinverters only turn on when there's power coming in from the street, from the poles.
No.
If the power on the street goes out, my microinverters turn off.
Only if you don't have a battery.
Like frickin' they said, when I called Whitman, they said that only when the microinverters will turn on, they won't work off the battery, they won't work off the generator.
Since the IQ8, which there's something called microgridding, that was the first generation of microinverters that allowed microgridding. And you could either have something called a sunshine box, which would allow it to produce power even if you didn't have a battery. A battery is a little bit more money, and it does backup storage where a sunshine box doesn't. So that is not true. There's a transfer switch, just like a generator. It'll disconnect from the grid, and then your solar will be able to run whatever it can run while it's sunny out. Any excess will charge the battery. When it's not sunny out, the battery would discharge.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not the case.
So if I lose power and I have a battery, my solar will turn.
Yes.
Stay running.
As long as it's sunny out, yes.
It's gotta be on the right side of the ATS. I think that's why they told you that. You don't want backfeed.
Right, that's what the transfer switch does. It disconnects from the grid.
That's me.
$20.
So what happens with that, Steve?
So it sounds like you have a little knowledge of solar?
Yeah, I was a master electrician.
Okay.
And then I worked in utilities for years.
Okay.
That's what I did for 35 years, then I moved up and down to cities.
Okay, so what I'm saying makes sense to you? Okay. So yeah, the battery is going to be a little bit, not everyone's going to qualify for the battery. When they rolled it out in Texas already, and it's going to be in New Jersey probably sometime later this year. So again, it's just something additional that doesn't really cost you money.
And none of that costs money. In other words, if they choose to do the battery, I don't pay for the battery.
No. It's probably going to be a lease. And again, what's in it for the company is in addition to be able to buy energy
Are you
cheap,
in
store it.
Michigan? Is the company in Michigan?
I do not believe so, no.
Tennessee?
I have a list. It's not on the top of my head that I can find out for you. And probably what's going to happen is if you agree to do the battery, it's probably going to be a lease. And again, what's in it for the company is that you're going to be basically committing to using us as your generation supplier. And again, all that's fine as long as it's beneficial to me. And you can clearly see what's in it for the energy company. So what other questions do you have?
I have a question on solar. When the snow falls off the solar panels and it kills somebody, is it our responsibility or the solar company's
Damn.
responsibility?
I think that would be just like a homeowner's claim.
Did it ricochet off the roof first, or did it go straight?
Oh, it came straight down, and let me tell you, we heard it in the house to the point where we had
Really?
to find
Wow.
out where it came from, because we thought maybe the base had a bomb, testing or
The
whatever.
goats did it.
And it happened twice, and if anybody was under it, they would have been.
You can install something called snowbirds that will break up the different
Yeah.
sheets, so it'll be smaller, but
It was.
it has to be a pretty significant snowstorm for it
we had
to
no
cover.
place. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
See, Charles.
Sorry, I
It was
did.
like
No worries.
Sunday night or Monday morning. It was just loud. I was like, holy. And then when we walked out the garage door and we saw everything laying there, I'm like, that would have been painful if you weren't. So I walked
Yeah.
close
No,
to
I
the
get
house now.
I get it. So what are the questions?
Did you know, Steve got a concussion because he was in the store and slids fell down.
Oh yeah, he came in with a fat lip last week.
Because what happened?
So he went.
He went to a sporting goods store.
Fell down and
He said he wanted to get some sleds off the wall, and he asked the associate. They came over and said, "Oh, I need a ladder," and he must have loosened it enough. He went left to get a ladder, and Steve was standing there, and he just fell on top of him. Got a concussion.
He touched it.
Yeah,
Oh, did he? He didn't tell me that part.
yeah.
He said he wasn't gonna sue, so I figured, I was like, all right,
He's
you probably got it on camera.
Well, he
Yeah.
said, I promised myself I wouldn't sue, and then he goes, and then I found out I had a concussion, so I wasn't so sure if that's how
Yeah,
he still
no.
felt. So he touched it. He didn't. Yeah.
I'm sure
Big
he
ice
did
sheet or
something.
something? Big icicle?
No, it was. He was in a Dick's or something like that. Was it Dick's?
Yeah, it was-
And they had these big plastic sleds on the wall, and he wanted them. He was going to buy a couple for his grandchildren, and they loosened it up, and then said, "I have to get a ladder." And now Ralph said that he must have touched
He
it
reached
and it
up to
fell.
grab it himself because the
Oh.
ladder was taking a little while. He was
Oh.
like, no,
I'll get it.
I'm good. I can do anything, He says, as soon as I touched it, it went.
It should be the last time you say that.
Of course, what he says is, I just rushed to bullshit.
It's your own damn fault. Deal with it.
Any other questions? Okay.